Hey, I'm here with Benjamin Ortega, the president of the St. Martin Chamber of Commerce today, and we just wanted to sit down and talk about how things are going in St. Martin.
Yes.
And I know you're the key guy to do that. And
so they say. So they say, yes.
So, just to start off, 2018 obviously was a tough year.
Yes.
2017, but then following was even harder. How are things in 2019? What can you tell me that you know?
Well, it depends on who you ask. The sentiment is extremely mixed. Some say that 2019 was the refreshing year for them, especially after experiencing Irma in 2017, taking 2018 as a rebuilding year. Your shirt says already Sint Maarten strong, and a lot of entities came out to use 2018 as a year of restructuring and rebuilding their brand, their business, or even taking a little sabbatical in order to be prepared for 2019. And other businesses say that, well, because of how things were and the added value that Sint Maarten received with attention, media, whatever have you, they had a better than expected 2018 season versus that of 2019. So in some industries, if you look at our market is extremely and predominantly a tourism market. Certain venues have done and claim to have done better in 2018 versus their beginning season of 2019. Okay. So that's a strange feeling. I think it all depends on the genre of business that you are in and what the services that you are being provided or you have provided in 2019 versus that of 18.
Just the cruise traffic has been pretty good for you guys, right? I know it bumped way up in 2018 versus 2017. It looks like you had about 1.6 million cruise visitors in 2018 versus 1.25, which is great, but not quite up to about the 2 million number it was at before the hurricane. Do you feel like that number is getting closer to where it was before?
Actually, no. I think that we could maybe even talk about a little decrease actually versus the 2018. Again, it all depends on which genre you're in. If you look primarily to the cruise tourism, it's based on expectations. I think the expectation of the island bouncing back after Irma was extremely low. And when we were hit with the 2018 season doing so well at 1.6, 1.7, I believe it was, everyone was overwhelmed because they did not expect to still do that on the itinerary of a country or actually of a region that was hit with the most two devastating hurricanes at that time, which was Irma and Maria. So in that perspective, 2018 was seen as a refreshing year. Those that remained with the bars or the tours that were still functional did extremely well because you had to channel certain things that were not there towards that were there, so you would see the increase, even if the numbers in general sense decreased overall. So I would say still that 2018 was a better year than in 2019. Now that 2019 more businesses has opened, and yet the numbers has not drastically grown to their 2 million point where they were, you will see then a decrease in the amount of revenue that businesses individually did versus, although the year was better, the amount of passengers coming was better, but the decrease because more was open, so you would have a spread that created that seemingly decrease to the revenues that they experienced. And let's not forget, we have also received word from the cruise industry of a slight decrease, I believe in the range of between 10 and 20% decrease in the numbers of passengers that will be coming, including cruise ships, for the 2019-2020 season. So these are all concerns, yet I think that Sint Maarten is doing pretty well for itself, and it's about having that added value with regards to your product line and what you're offering. So the vision that Chamber had for 2019 was the vision of inclusion. What we meant with the vision of inclusion was that it is great to want to be knocking on all doors, but it would be even better to be included, to come into every office, to be able to be accepted. And in order to be accepted, collaboration, networking is key. So we reached out to many stakeholder organizations, SSDA, IMA, the central bank, but also our Chamber of Commerce brothers and sisters of the northern side, the French side of Sint Maarten, as being the unique island that share two countries in one. But at the same time, we cannot function as a destination without considering the other. And if you don't, and so what we did, we tried to see what was the best formula on doing business on Sint Maarten. And there is no right or wrong in doing business in Sint Maarten. Somewhere that will never work will work in Sint Maarten, and somewhere that will work like off the bat will not work in Sint Maarten because of various other reasons. So there's no right and wrong in doing business in Sint Maarten. What Sint Maarten is, as being that unique place, we have seen it is a right timing. Timing is everything.
Yeah,
you know, marketing to the right guest at the right time is important. And sometimes what we have seen that in the summer months, which is our slow season, where we have less guests coming to the island, we have seen other avenues being exploited in the sense of the koopavond. Koopavond is Dutch. It's a Dutch translation for the night sales. So generally, our businesses are not open at night, and especially after 6 p.m. So now opening your doors on a specific Thursday, that is something that trickled down from the Netherlands and has been throughout the Dutch Caribbean as a gimmick or a hype to create a little extra buzz. Something like what the Americans would have on their Black Friday, and in certain holidays that you have the longer and more specials are open. That is what the koopavond actually also promotes. But what I like about the koopavond, and that was independently done. Yes, a board member, Mr. Bertrand Fleming, is the brainchild behind the koopavond, but it was not a chamber affiliate. That's something that he did on his own as an added value to the business community.
Which is significant, right? I mean, you need businesses to do these innovative things.
And I love the fact that not only the established businesses through Front Street and Back Street were able to participate, but every business were able, and someone with a nice idea, if you're hand making bags or jewelry or whatever have you, from food and beverage that is unique, you were able to rent a stand on the koopavond and be centralized around music and entertainment.
Is it in a certain location?
It was in a certain location in town.
Okay.
And what we have seen thereafter is that the Backstreet Bonanza came about as well. So Front Street was primarily for the koopavond, the Indian merchants and other local merchants as well. And then, if they could do it, we could do it too. So you created that spin-off, and the Backstreet Bonanza was in November, and that was a huge success as well.
Hotels on the island. One big one that comes to mind is the Westin.
Correct.
I think probably the biggest one that still remains closed, right?
Yes, correct.
Can you give an update on that? Do you know kind of what's happening with that?
I'll right now I can't really give a direct update. I'm not authority to do so. But what I can see, because I visit these areas, I drive around and see what is the development going on the island. And in general sense, not only the Westins, there are quite some flagship hotels that have been damaged and closed to, and chose to close after Irma for total rebuilding. Very smart. However, it does mean that we have an issue on the island with regards to the amount of beds that we have available in our high season, touristic season that we are in now. So Westin's being closed, that's a good couple of hundred of beds that we don't have to cater to. The Royal Palms is also closed. Knowing that will open hopefully within a few months, if not just before the season ends. We have other hotels as well that are lagging behind, and I say lagging behind because it is the season now. We much need this, but it is also in comparisons with the airport. Our carriers, if they don't have somewhere to place the persons, there's little to no need then for bringing in extra carriers too. So you see it's in downward spiral, not having these beds available. Again, the creativity of the island is what we've seen that more Airbnbs have been talking about.
That's what I was going to ask. Which is great.
Which is super great. If anyone asks me and anyone knows my opinion, I always say having flagship hotels is super great for the island It sells the island on a certain level of platform that persons away might be accustomed to, so it will draw them to the island. But nothing is better than spreading your wealth and spreading your wealth economically, but also in the infrastructure. So I'm also a proponent for having more boutique hotels on the island. I think that if you look at our footprint and as being a 80% developed island, there's not much space over for big flagship hotels, but there is space over to develop maybe smaller boutique hotels with the 50 plus rooms or less, or even 10 rooms. And the chances of these boutique hotels falling off the grid when we have a natural disaster such as a hurricane is extremely smaller. And even if they are damaged, the chances of them being back up is quite fast.
Yeah.
And whether it's through insurance payouts or whatever have you. So you are managing your amount of spread of beds in a more efficient way. So they created and they captured a certain clientele that benefited them, and I think will benefit them also in the long run. So I'm hoping that we could hopefully see some more of these type of developments on the island, stimulated by government, of course, as that would be a stable point of development. What we have done in the later 2019 and what we'll be expanding on in 2020, we have LinkedIn. We have introduced LinkedIn to our social media platform.
Okay.
So everything that we have posted and everything that we are pretty much busy with, we will be posting there going forward on a regular basis. At this present moment, I think it's like once a week or once every so often. But the idealic way of moving forward would be almost daily posting something, whether it's a share post or self-initiative post of the chamber. That's where we and I would like to see our social media platform with regards to LinkedIn. And what we have also done, we have looked at our our Facebook platform, and it was kind of outdated. So how do we gradually try to introduce that new Facebook, using Facebook not only for looking at pretty faces, but actually more as a sharing platform on events, but also if you are having an event such as the Copavan or the Backstreet Bonanza, that we'll be able to promote you in that way via Facebook, as you know, it's countless. You know, one share could mean 1,000 hits. So utilizing these avenues for better promotion of our services, better promotion of our activities, but also better promotion of our registrants. And in 2020, that's where we'll be going to, especially with regards to LinkedIn, more connecting to each other, networking on a digital platform. And if you, as a registrant, as a collaborative entity with the chamber, has something to share, use our platform for this.
Can American businesses register with the St. Martin Chamber of Commerce, or how does that work? Do you have to be set up as a business in St. Martin?
Yes, you do have to. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to provide the services here, it is mandated by law that you are set up as a business here as well. Our notaries are the first stop with regards to that. Although the first registry location is at the chamber, the notaries are the ones that guide you through the process. You know, to get a director's license. It all depends if you want to put a branch here of your business from the US here. There are different ways and manners of establishing your business here. But what we always say is visit the chamber, visit the notaries, get all the information that applies to your type of business, because every type of business has a different business stream. Are you gonna physically open a store here, or are you gonna physically have a location here, an address here, or are you gonna just be working as a consultant? So all of these different business types determines what is the best route to go with regards to establishing your business on the island. If you're not doing a business here, the best thing is establishing a working relationship with. And you could establish a working relationship with any entity here on the island. Okay. I mean, I know of other entities that are extremely large in the social media, and they are foodies, critics, or whatever have you, and they don't physically have a business here, but they have a working relationship with various other branch organizations or membership organizations that we have in Ireland, including the chamber.
Yeah.
And you know, our doors are open for promoting the island and also promoting good business sense. You know, it's important to know what is your added value towards your business and always towards the environment that you're catering to, in this case, Sint Maarten. So if you have that added value and you have working relationships, networking again, with different entities, including the Chamber here, it can enhance your business, but it also enhances our presence.
Yeah.
Because you're taking this now, it'll be shown in the US. I'm sure that maybe other organizations that are interested will say, oh wow, that sounds something like we would like to get into.
Yeah.
So automatically the spin-off that the chamber will have is that we use your platform to grow as well as you using our platform to be known here in Ireland and what you're doing.
Thank you so much for providing this information. It's been very informative, and any business that wants to come start on St. Maarten, as you can see, it's very open, very dialogue. The dialogue's great, and you've been very accommodating, so I appreciate it.
I thank you too. I think this is exactly what we, as what we call the Friendly Island St. Maarten, is about. It's not only about sunshine, sea, and sand, and you know, and having that party and being the Las Vegas of the Caribbean, but it's about establishing relationships. You know, St. Maarten has geographically always been that hub within the eastern region of the Caribbean that people flock to and flock from. And this is just a perfect prime example of how a physical presence with a digital presence coming together. And I think I must thank you for that, because I think your story, as it is, should resonate to also islanders. You know, the best way to promote your island is to know your island. You know, when I studied in the Netherlands, I came back in 2007, and the first thing I did for the first year, I traveled every Sunday around the island trying to discover new places. So I'm not an expert either, and I'm born here. You know? But every day is a learning experience. It's a unique place to be, St. Maarten. It's a unique place to do business with and from. All the shout outs we could receive is much appreciated. So again, SXM can only be strong by you.
Thanks, man.
Helping us out. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.